welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute since I've been on here, and I know in my last video I said I was gonna try and be a little more diligent about posting once a month, but honestly I've just kind of come to terms with it myself that I don't necessarily have the time to be doing that every month with school going on right now. So I've just decided that I'm gonna post when I can and when I'm motivated to do it. And I think that in the end that'll make better content anyways, and I think I'll be happier with it. And the whole purpose of me even doing this in the first place was because I thought it would be a fun activity to do here and there. So hopefully that's okay. But anyways, so since it's been, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 weeks since I've been on here, I've been working on quite a few projects that I talked about in my last video, and a few projects that I were unplanned. And so yes, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I only have 2 finished objects, but I had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish projects that I've been working on. So I've made a pretty good progress on a lot of them. The first one that I want to talk about is one that has actually been on my needles for a very long time. I don't know exactly how long, but probably like a good year at least. And it is a hot water bottle koozie. And I'm just realizing that I'm a bad podcaster because I didn't write down any of the names of any of this stuff. So bear with me. I'll probably just have to put in like little tags for what they are. But I don't remember who this is by. I think it's just called the hot water bottle koozie or cozy. Super simple project. It had an interesting cast on. I did it again like way over a year ago, so I couldn't tell you exactly what kind of cast on it was, but it was interesting. And then the rest is just kind of a pretty simple construction on the way up. And yeah, I felt like everybody else was really into making these this winter, and I had this whip languishing in my stash for months, and I finally decided this is super simple and stockinette. I can do this while I'm listening to lecture or whatever, and let's just get it done, you know? And I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. I used some leftover cotton, I think Caron's cotton that I had gotten from Michael's years ago and used to make a baby blanket for a friend. And I actually still have a significant amount of this left over. I don't think I brought it with me though. So great project to use up some leftover yarn. I made it again, like I said, in cotton, and I haven't actually filled it up and used it yet, so I'm not sure how cotton is gonna work as an insulator or like a conductor of the heat. So I don't really have an update on that, but I think I'm pretty happy with it either which way. I like the way that it looks. It's cozy. What more can you ask for out of a hot water bottle koozie? So that's the first finished object. My second finished object, or almost finished object, is actually this bandana that I'm wearing. And I'll try to let you see it. I actually just finished it literally maybe 5 minutes ago before I started filming this. This is a self-drafted pattern that I had been kind of thinking up for a little while. Again, I feel like hair bandanas are really popular right now. Emily from High Fiber Knits kind of like, I don't know if she was the one that like made it kind of trendy or like brought it to the knitting light, but at least for me, that's where I I first saw it and was like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And I feel like I've seen quite a few knitters now do it, and a few patterns kind of pop up on Ravelry that are getting kind of trendy right now. But even though I really wanted to make one, I felt like I wasn't sold on any of the patterns that were available. And honestly, I didn't feel like there were a lot of pattern varieties available for hair bandanas. So I just kept waiting to see if somebody would put one out that I liked, and nothing ever really came of it. And I had been working on so many projects anyways that it just kind of was whatever. But I am working on another project that I'll show in a minute, and it has this this pattern in it, for the diamond repeat, and I fell in love with that while I was knitting that project. And it kind of dawned on me a couple of days ago that that might be a really cute lace repeat, although I don't know if it's really considered lace, but I just figured that it would be a really cute repeat pattern for a hair bandana. You know, it would have a little femininity to it, a little bit of breathability for the head, but also, you know, a good amount of coverage, which was something that that was important to me with making a hair bandana, was because I have very dark hair. So I wanted a bandana that was gonna cover a good amount of my head with a lighter color that would kind of deflect some of the summer sunlight and keep my head a little bit cooler if we were out on a walk or at the beach or whatever. So I decided to give it a go, and I had this yarn in stash. It's Rowan Summerlite DK. It's 100% Egyptian cotton. And this had been in my stash for a while. I figured I was going to use it for a baby knit of some sort, and I just never did. I think I just liked the yarn too much and selfishly wanted it for myself. It's a 50-gram skein, and it recommends a US 5 needle, which is what I used. And I liked the way that it knit up, like the gauge. This is how much is left out of the 50 grams. I don't think it's enough to make a whole nother bandana, but it is what it is. And I'm really happy with it. I don't want to take it off because I like the way that it looks in my hair right now, but I am so happy with the way that the pattern turned out. So right now, my goal with this is, one, I need to reevaluate my yarn choice. I think that when I do write it up officially, I will suggest the Rowan Summerlite DK, but this yarn, I don't know, this is like the lightest DK weight yarn I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if it's very thin. So I feel like maybe it's closer to a sport. So my goal right now is I want to search out for maybe a couple of other cotton options, see if a sport weight, if sport weights compared to this Summerlite DK, because I don't want to recommend in the pattern to use a DK weight yarn and it really not be a DK weight yarn. And then the second thing is that I think I'm going to work up a second sample with either a picot edge that is going to be knit as you go, or knit it as is and then add a crocheted picot edge at the end. So those are the things that I want to figure out right now before I do like a little tester call on Instagram, and I think I'm just gonna call for a couple of people, just to make sure that it reads well. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's super cute. Let me know what you think, I guess. So those are my two works in oh gosh. Okay. Those are my two finished objects. Now I have a plethora of works in progress. The first one that I'm going to show was one that, in a way, I suppose I talked about in my last video. It's the June top by PetiteKnit. In my video though, my last video when I talked about it, I said I was gonna make it in my Knitting for Olive pure silk, which was my intention originally, but then I stumbled into my local yarn shop one day and bought yarn because why not? And I think I was just feeling some type of way that day because school was feeling difficult and I needed like a pick-me-up or something. But my local yarn shop actually has a nice selection of Noro yarns, and I had never worked with Noro yarns before. In a previous video I did show, I've shown like a skein of Noro yarn that I bought with the intention of using to knit something for my brother because he was or had just moved to Japan. But I never ended up using it. I still haven't used it, and I don't know if I ever will use it because the colors are not really in my color preference range, but it is still in stash. Never used it though, but I did go into my yarn shop and I bought one of their like big balls. I think they call them dragon eggs or something like that on their website, but it's like a big ball of yarn, and I think the kind that I got was Akari. Don't quote me on that, but here is my June top that I ended up knitting it in. Yes, it is I'm pretty sure it is Akari because there's a few projects out there with the June top that have been made out of kakikori. I think that's how you pronounce it. And they're so pretty. And I think that when I saw the Akari in the yarn shop and I really liked the colors in the ball, I thought I could kind of make like a similar situation because it did meet gauge. The content of the yarn was definitely different though. But I liked it. I didn't bring the tag with me, I don't think, which was not smart. I'm filming at my sister-in-law's today, so I don't have everything at my disposal that I typically would when I'm at home. But the content of this yarn is a little bit different. It has some silk, some cotton in it, as well as wool, viscose. And so I did knit it up in that, and I do like it. I haven't worn it yet because it's not finished. But I don't know if I love it. I don't know if I love the striping. We'll see. It turned out, the colors looked so beautiful when it was all balled up in its skein or whatever you want to call it. But I feel like knitted up, it almost is like mucky. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel once I block it and wash it and wear it and all that, but I don't know yet. But the reason I haven't finished this, because it is almost done, the reason I haven't finished it is because I'm a really poor quality knitter and I didn't keep track of the amount of like rows going up that I did on either side, and I knit significantly more on one strap than I did on the other, and I have unpicked it 2 times now and they're still not even. So I have to unpick it again and make this side shorter than this side. And then I have to do the I-cord edging, and then I can wear it. So I am excited to have this because I think it will be a nice tank top to have during the summer. It does have some wool in it, so that is a little worrisome. I don't think I'll be able to wear this in like June or early August, but I think, or I'm sorry, July or early August, but I think throughout June and the end of August, September, this will be really nice. I think more than anything, I'm just a little bummed about the colors. They looked so pretty balled up, and I just feel like in close up, you can see like the different colors are all so pretty. Like they've got like these little orange flecks, and this purple is so vibrant. It's almost like a purplish blue. Every color is so beautiful on its own, and in the ball that was really apparent. But then far away when they're knit together, it just looks really gray. I don't know. We'll see once I wear it if I feel a little bit differently. But the feeling of the yarn itself, the finished fabric is so nice and soft and silky. It's a great combination of fibers. I will say that. So that is my first work in progress, and I'm hopefully going to finish that fairly soon. And then my next work in progress that I actually have a deadline on, and I am really playing it very risky with this deadline because today is Friday, and this needs to be done by Sunday morning for a baby shower. And I think I'll be able to do it. I mean, I have to do it, so there's that. But this is the knot stitch baby blanket. And I can't remember the name of the designer, but I will definitely put it as an afterthought somewhere. So I have come a long way on this since my last video. I am almost done. I have 2 more. I have to finish this ball and then 1 more, and then I'm done. So it was fairly quick, honestly. Because it's knit on US 8 5mm needles. And it is an 8-row repeat, I believe, that is fairly intuitive. I don't look at the pattern ever. I just keep track of where I'm at. And even that you really don't need to do. You can tell where you're at, but I am in love with it. I don't think I can do it justice here, but the texture, the pattern is so nice. I knit it in drops. What is it? Drops Paris in the color 17. I think it was off-white is what it was on the website. It's 100% cotton. It's okay. It's okay cotton. It's not the same as this cotton. This Egyptian cotton is like butter. This is just a bit, this is nicer than this cotton. This cotton is, I think it gets softer with use, but it's rough. Whereas then this is like middle of the road, I guess. It's kind of rough as well, but it has more of a softness about it. And then this is just the best. But yeah, this is due in 2 days. I think I'll be able to do it. I'm gonna have to make it work somehow, some way. But it has been a real pleasure to work on. It went real quick. I would recommend it to anybody making a baby blanket. I even told my husband that when we have our first child, I would highly consider using this pattern as the baby blanket that I'd want to make. I'll probably use it again, honestly, for baby blankets to come as gifts as well. So that's that. I talked about that, I think, a lot in my last video, so I'm not gonna linger on that too much. And then I have another whip that I'm really excited about. I really want to finish, and I'm close to finishing, and that is my April cardigan. I am knitting this in drops, drop something and drops mohair. Why can't I remember which drops it is? It's not drops alpaca. I don't know, but it's this nice camel color. I talked about this in my last 2 videos, definitely in my last video, about how I really screwed up the yoke and had to unpick it, knit by knit, or stitch by stitch, and that was a real pain in the butt. And but I did it, and I was ready to start knitting again. And I even said in my video that if I hadn't done that, I probably wasn't going to work on it all semester and it wouldn't be done. Well, then that night I went and started working on it, and I think 4 or 5 rows in, I realized that something was off again, and I went and counted all my stitches in their areas to see if I had the right amount of stitches, and I was off 1 stitch on the front left panel, and I about lost my freaking mind because it was so disheartening, and I knew I was gonna have to tick back those 4 or 5 rows that I had just done again. And I pretty much decided, no, I'm not gonna do that. Put it in its bag, put it in my stash, and forgot about it for a few weeks because I was so disheartened by it. But then for whatever reason, at the beginning of April, I just was motivated to pull it back out and work on it. I unticked it, and I finished the yoke, because the yoke is in 3 sections, and it was the 3rd section that I had messed up twice. So when I was finally working it the 3rd time, I was very on it, trying to make sure that I didn't mess anything up. I counted my stitches every single time I finished a row. Actually, every single time that I finished a stitch marker to stitch marker portion, from the raglan, the arm, the stitch marker from one raglan to the other on the arm. I was checking everything all the time, every single time, every row, to make sure I didn't mess anything up. And then from there on out, I just was blowing through it. And yeah, I've been working on it quite a lot. I've really been enjoying it. I have really enjoyed the yarn combination. I think that it is nicer than I anticipated it to be, considering that both yarns are drops. It actually feels luxurious knitting them together, and the finished fabric is also very nice. At this point, I just finished the sleeves a day or so ago, but I did start working on this, and then I've been putting a lot of effort towards the baby blanket, so this has kind of been on the back burner for a moment. But I just finished the sleeves, and now all I need to do is finish the ribbing on the bottom and then add in the button band and buttons, and I will be done. And I'm very excited about it. I did want to finish it by May. It just didn't work out that way, which is okay. My new goal is to finish it by June, which if I can't do that, then all hope is lost, I guess. I don't know. If I can't finish it by June, then I'm not gonna get to wear it until the fall, which would be a real bummer. But yeah, so that is almost done. And then my next finished, or not finished, I'm struggling. Sometimes, I don't know about anybody else who maybe is a podcaster that watches this. Does anybody else ever just feel like when they're sitting here talking to themselves that nothing they say makes sense? Because I feel that way a lot. Then I have this work in progress. And this one I had to stop working on actually electively because I hit a roadblock and I'm not really sure what to do about it. But aside from that, before I go into that, this is the, I don't think I'm gonna pronounce it right, but I think it's called the Rigmor Tee by PetiteKnit. And it was all scrunched up, so it's kind of wrinkly, but this is where I got the inspiration for this diamond pattern for my bandana. And I have knit this in Cascade. Hold on, I have a scan. Yeah, my phone died, so now I'm back at home and I'm just gonna finish this up here on my bedroom floor because it's where my charger can reach to. What I was trying to say was that for this t-shirt, I am working with Cascade Ultra Pima cotton. It's 100 gram skein, 220 yards. It's very nice. I'm working with a lot of cotton lately, actually, I just realized. And I would say that as far as those cottons go, the Caron's cotton is like the lowest grade, still okay for certain projects, but definitely the toughest, roughest. Then the Drops Paris cotton was probably second. Again, still a little rough, but still usable. I mean, I'm using it for a baby blanket, so I think it's okay. Then I would say that the Pima cotton is probably third, as far as like quality goes. It's definitely soft. I wouldn't say that there's much roughness at all in the fabric. I mean, other than like what you would expect from cotton. I think all cotton has a certain amount of like rigidity to it compared to wool. But I would say it's also, this is like the heaviest of the cottons that I am using right now. It's thick, but it's nice. It's very soft. I think it's making a very nice fabric. It does have a shine to it though. Like none of the other cottons I'm using have a shine to it. This is, you can even see it right there in the sunlight. It's shiny, which I wasn't expecting. When I first ordered this, I ordered it online and I had ordered it for a design that I was trying to work up myself last year. And I really specifically wanted like a buttery yellow, but like a muted buttery yellow, like a soft yellow, but not a pastel. And online, I thought that this had that look. And the color is rose yellow or yellow rose. And I'm really partial to roses. My husband used to bring me roses all the time when we first started dating. So I have a soft spot for roses. So I went with this color. And then when it came, because I bought it online, I felt like it was definitely more vibrant than I expected it to be. So I never ended up using it. And then I came across this pattern recently and felt like it would be good for this. So I gave it a go. It is still very bright. It's not a muted yellow by any means. It's yellow, very yellow. But I think it's gonna be a really cute t-shirt. And I'm really enjoying working on this. I've really enjoyed this. This is the first time, well no, this is the second time, because the June top is actually worked from bottom up, and this is also worked bottom up. But the June top is fairly simple as far as bottom up goes, because you go up and then you just go straight into the straps. This is different because it has actual like little sleeves, and that is where I am stuck right now. I had a really hard time working this like decrease bind off row that you have to do going into the sleeves, starting the sleeves. And if anybody has worked this pattern before and knows like what the deal is with it, I have gotten to the part where you, at the end of the round where you're binding off, and I'm left with one stitch randomly and I don't know what to do with it. So I haven't like cut the yarn off of it or anything. I ended up actually putting in a lifeline. That's what this green yarn is. I put in a lifeline in the row before the binding off finagly row, in case I mess it up, because I probably will and probably already have. And I'm gonna start working on the sleeves before I figure this out, because I just don't have the mind power to do it right now. And I was hoping maybe somebody else could shed some light on it for me here. I don't know. But yeah, so now I'm at the point where I need to cast on the sleeves, and I've been kind of dragging my feet on that because it's one of those casts on that's just not my favorite to do. And it's a lot of stitches. It's like, it's up there. And I'm just not looking forward to it. And you have to do 2 sleeves. So that is something I need to do, because I'm actually really looking forward to having this finished object. But it has also kind of been, I've kind of stopped working on it for the last week or so because I've been working on other projects that are more of a priority. Like the blanket, I have a deadline. The April cardigan needs to be done before this, because I won't have time to wear it all if I finish it in the middle of summertime. Whereas if I finish this in the middle of the summertime, I can still wear it. But I think it's a really lovely pattern so far. I'm honestly surprised that it's not more popular than it is. When I looked on Instagram to see like other people's, to see like the hashtag to get inspiration, I felt like there really wasn't a whole lot compared to a lot of PetiteKnit's other patterns. Like there are thousands under the hashtags, whereas this only had like a couple hundred. So surprising, because I think it's such a beautiful design, and the repeat is really nice. I will say though, her PetiteKnits, I think she calls for like a wool or a wool blend, and I just couldn't see myself making this in wool. And I did come across somebody else's on Instagram that was made in 100% cotton, and that was what kind of gave me the like go ahead to do mine in 100% cotton, because I think I actually liked the way that it looked better in cotton. Or there were a couple that were like cotton linen blends, and I just thought that they looked a lot better than in the wool. So maybe that's why people don't reach for the pattern, because her sample is in wool and it makes it look a little different than in like summer fibers, especially because it's a summer shirt. But whatever. So that's that. Looking forward to it. Beautiful yarn, beautiful pattern. Then I have my, what is this called? I do do not remember what this is called. Guys, I must be the worst there is when it comes to knowing names. Then I have my Cumulus blouse, which I won't lie, I haven't really worked on a lot. The last time I showed it, I had finished the body, which the body is finished. I needed to do the I-cord, I think, which I've done. And then I hadn't started either of the sleeves. So that sleeve still hasn't been done, but I did start this sleeve. And truthfully, the reason I haven't been working on this is not because I don't want the finished object. I really do. But working this sleeve has been a pain in my freaking ass. I have not enjoyed it one bit. You can even see, like, do you see the divots here? I started working the sleeve on Magic Loop and it sucked. It just, I don't know if anybody else has ever had it where they are just like not enjoying the process. Like stitches are getting stuck, they're not moving, you're like trying to like move them along the cords and they don't want to move, or they start making these, like, let me see if I can find it, like these portions where like big gaps are happening. I don't know if you can see it very well, but like right there, I was still doing Magic Loop right there, and like in between, so this was where the cord was coming through. This was on one side and this was on one side, and it was creating this giant gaping, like rowing out situation, and I just was not enjoying myself at all. So I stopped working on it a few times, and I would pick it back up and try to do it, and it just was so unpleasurable that I could not bring myself to work on it. I think that I cast on the Rigmor Tee at one point because I was so not enjoying this project that I needed something else to like bring me some joy immediately. So I did go to my local yarn store for something at some point recently and decided I was going to get a new set of needles with a shorter cord so that I could work this sleeve and it not be doing that like big gaping rowing out thing and make it a little more enjoyable. So I go and I asked the lady for what I wanted, and I just said, because they always ask, what are you working on? You know, so they can get an idea of what you might need if you don't know what you need. And I told her I was working on a sleeve and that I needed a shorter cord because I had been doing Magic Loop and it just was not enjoyable. And she pulled out the needles size that I wanted, which is a 7, US 7, on these. You can't really see it very well. I've scrunched up the sleeve, but the cord is very short. It's only maybe that long. I don't know. Let's see if it's, I don't have the package, so I don't know like what length the cord is, but it's small. It is that big. And I even said when she pulled it out, I was like, well, that seems a little small. Do you have like a longer one, a little longer? And she goes, oh, don't worry. This is what a lot of people use. Like, it's okay. And I was like, okay, whatever. And left, even though I was kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of small. And came home, put it on the sleeve and started knitting. And it's still awful. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the yarn. I don't know if it's the cord length on this needle now, if it's too short instead of too long like it was before, but the stitches are still getting stuck and I'm still like shoving them up the needle. Like they're like right here, I'm like shoving them. It's like super hard to get them over like the cord to the biggest girth part of the needle. and it is robbing me of the enjoyment of knitting this sleeve again. So I only knit maybe a centimeter and then I stopped working on it again, and I have not been motivated to work on it since. So unfortunately, I think for my Cumulus blouse, it has been granted the back seat for all of my projects. I don't think I will start working on this again for at least until I'm done with everything else that I've already shown in this video. This is the least of my priorities, solely because I'm not getting any enjoyment out of it. Which is sad because I'm literally almost done with it. I need to finish like half a sleeve, one full sleeve, and then the I-cord on the neck, and then it's done. And I really wanted this for the springtime because I felt like this was going to be such a good piece for the type of weather that we get in Michigan this time of year. But I don't think I will be finishing it. And I don't know if I'm going to want to work on it during the summertime either. This might not be something that I finish until the fall. I don't know. We shall see. But that is my Cumulus blouse. It's in timeout for right now. It's been in timeout for a while. It's unfortunate, especially because I feel like everyone has such high praises to say about their Cumulus blouses. It's kind of like my April cardigan. I am so fed up with it right now and irritated with the process that I just can't even bear to touch it. And then my very last work in progress is my what's the name of it? I'm So Basic sock by summerlite design. And I really haven't made a lot of progress on this since I showed it last, because I was working on other stuff, but I really want to finish this sock. Really want to finish this sock because I've made a pact with myself that I cannot start another set of socks until this sock is done. I just started the heel flap. I'm actually almost done with it, maybe a little more than halfway. But when I last showed it, I think I was about here. So I did that much, and then I feel like once I'm done with the heel flap and gusset, it'll just fly because it'll just be stockinette, and then the toe decreases and stuff. But yeah, right now I actually have like really strong sock mojo, because one, I just got a new pair of Birkenstocks, and I love wearing socks with my Birkenstocks. And my Birkenstocks are this like dark color, and I felt like this sock color would be so nice with this Birkenstock. I don't know, I just felt like the moody colors in both would look really nice together. So that's part of why I'm motivated. And then the other reason that I'm really motivated with socks is because when I got my final grade for my semester that I just finished, I have like a thing that I do for myself every time I pass a class. I go to my yarn shop and I get myself a skein of yarn as a treat, or as like a congratulations gift to myself. So I did do that after I finished my class, and I bought myself just a single skein of, I don't remember what it is, but it's just a sock yarn, and it's just a nice and like beige color. It's kind of it's lighter than that. I really want to make a pair of wildflowers and honeycomb socks by This Handmade Life. They also have this same like diamond pattern in them. I'm really addicted to this pattern right now, and I really want those socks, and I want to use the yarn that I just got. but I have forbidden myself from casting them on until I finish this current sock. So I'm motivated to finish this. 1, so I have these finished socks, and then 2, so I can start another pair. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't knit a lot of socks. Actually, most of the socks that I've knit have been in DK weight yarn. So this will be only the 2nd pair of socks I've finished in fingering weight, and I'm knitting them on a 2mm needle, so it's a lot of knitting. But I'm enjoying it. I really enjoy going from, like, I have a variety of different needle sizes right now on all my projects, so it's definitely nice to go from, like, I think, what did I say? I'm working on a US 7 on my Cumulus blouse, so from that, and then I think I'm on, I don't know what needle size, but a bigger needle size for the baby blanket, and then like a 4mm for the June, no, a 4mm for the April top, or the April cardigan. So just all over the board, so, which is nice because it means that my wrists and my elbows aren't getting too worn out just working on the same needle size over and over and over again. But yeah, so those are all of my works in progress, and I do already have some ideas, which I've kind of mentioned a little bit, about what I would like to cast on once I clear all of these current works in progress out. But I think I'm gonna save those and put those in another video for another day. And I really don't have any acquisitions other than that one skein that I was talking about for my sock yarn, which I'm not going to bother to go grab and pull out and show you because it's literally just beige sock yarn, and I'll probably show it in the next video. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed seeing all the progress that I've made on my plethora of whips, and if you have any recommendations about this pattern, as far as maybe adding a picot edge or maybe not, or maybe a name for it, because I haven't even thought about a name for the pattern, leave a comment for me. But yeah, I do hope to post again soon at some point, but like I said, I'm really not gonna hold myself to any kind of strict regimen with it. I think I enjoy doing this a lot more when I just do it organically, when I have the time, when I have the energy, because if I don't do it that way, then it just feels forced, and nobody enjoys watching a forced video. So I'm only gonna do this when I'm feeling up to it and when it feels right, so hopefully that's okay with you guys. I appreciate anybody who's watching, who's watched this far, and who is continually watching my videos. Yeah. I hope everybody's having a lovely spring or fall if you're in the southern hemisphere. All right, that's enough rambling from me. Until next time, have a good one.